Welcome back to the channel. Today, DC Dark Legion has just released a fairly major update, and I think there are quite a few things worth talking about, especially the new event centered around Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow, a character the community has been waiting for quite a long time. Now let's talk about this patch. Looking at it overall, this is a relatively balanced update. It brings new content to attract players back, while also introducing system improvements that long-term players have been asking for quite a while. Um, I will go through each
Amazon
part so you can
always.
Oh,
understand
life's
everything
gay.
clearly before jumping into the game. The first and most important thing in this patch is the arrival of Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow, a completely new version of Supergirl tied to a story that begins with a conversation about Lobo in Batcave's living quarters. Now, I will go straight to the most important part, which is the Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow event guide. The event will open on June 25th and requires you to reach War Room level 10 or higher. If you are a new player and have not reached that milestone yet, this is a good reason to speed up your progress. This event consists of multiple modules, and I want to explain each one clearly so you do not get lost when entering the game. The core part of the event is Brigand Battle. This is where you actually fight and accumulate rewards. Its mechanics are fairly simple, but they depend heavily on luck, so I want you to understand the probabilities before you start spending Sunstones. Each attack costs one Sunstone, and the system will randomly combine three types of attacks: punch, kick, and heat vision. The result of these three slots determines how much damage you deal. If you get three matching slots, known as three of a kind, the damage will be significantly higher than other outcomes. Specifically, 3 punches deal 50 damage with an 8% chance, 3 kicks deal 70 damage with a 5% chance, and 3 heat visions deal 100 damage but with only a 2% chance. This is the best result you can aim for, especially 3 of a kind heat vision since it deals the highest damage. If you get 2 of a kind, meaning 2 matching slots and 1 different slot, the damage will be lower, but the probability is much higher. 2 punches deal 20 damage, 2 kicks deal 30 damage, and 2 heat visions deal 40 damage, with each outcome having roughly a 20% chance. And if all 3 slots are different, the damage drops to only 10, with the probability for each combination ranging from 8% to 8.34%. Looking at these numbers, what do you notice? The chance of getting poor results is relatively high, and this is why I want to emphasize that this event is heavily luck-based. You cannot control the outcome of each attack, but you can optimize how you use your Sunstones to make sure none are wasted. Speaking of Sunstones, this is the most important resource in the event, and you need to manage it carefully. Through the Sunlight Pass, you can earn 2,500 points per day from daily tasks, but the highest milestone in the pass is only 10,000 points. This means you can only earn free Sunstones for 4 days. This is an important limitation that you must remember. My advice is that if you do not plan to buy additional Sunstones, save at least 3 of them for the final 3 days of the event, instead of spending everything immediately, because the final phase is usually when you need an extra push to reach milestones and claim some additional rewards, such as alloy and chips. Now let's talk about the second module, Intergalactic Veterinary Hospital. This is where you use antidotes to treat Krypto, Superman's dog, and in return you receive milestone rewards. The most important part of this module is that after using a total of 200 antidotes, you will unlock a special feature called Puppy Luck. This feature allows you to perform a free attack that is guaranteed to result in 3 of a kind, meaning 3 matching slots. This feature is extremely valuable because it completely removes the luck factor for one attack and guarantees your highest possible damage. However, the feature has a daily usage limit, and the skill level affects how many times you can use it. Therefore, prioritize investing antidotes here early so you can unlock Puppy Luck as quickly as possible. Another notable detail in Brigand Battle is Supergirl's solar power. This is a stat that accumulates throughout the battle, and once it is fully charged, your next attack will deal double damage. This does not depend on the random outcome of the 3 dice slots and acts as an additional bonus instead, so try to build up solar power and take full advantage of it. When you defeat enough normal enemies, an elite enemy will appear with better rewards. And more importantly, every time you unlock a new scene in the event, you also unlock an additional companion for Supergirl. Specifically, Ruthie allows your next attack to be free and not consume a Sunstone, while Lobo adds bonus damage to your next attack. Both have their own value, and you should pay attention to using them at the right moment to maximize efficiency. Next is the Supergirl Gifts of Tomorrow module. This is the social gift system of the event, where you earn alien popcorn buckets through daily tasks, crisis response, anti-crime network, or by winning coordinated assault battles against the Dark Legion. And this time the rewards are guaranteed. When you send alien popcorn buckets to friends or league members, both players receive Supergirl's gift boxes, which can contain Sunstones, antidotes, and other event items. This is actually a pretty smart system because it encourages community interaction while helping you accumulate additional resources without spending extra. However, keep in mind that after you have sent or received a total of 200 gifts, the quality of the rewards will decrease. The sending and receiving counts are tracked separately, so make sure you do not ignore either side of the system. What is the biggest reward in this event? It is Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow herself. The Vouchers of Tomorrow that you earn during the event can be exchanged in the Galactic Store for her shards. Interestingly, this time I do not see a strict voucher requirement limit like some of the previous death metal events. You only need around 4,000 vouchers to obtain her. This is great news for free-to-play players because in theory, you can absolutely reach that number without spending money, as long as you participate in all event activities. However, my advice is to avoid exchanging your vouchers immediately. Wait until the final days of the event. The reason is simple. If you reach the end of the event and find that you do not have enough vouchers for Supergirl, you can still spend them on other valuable items such as World Anvil fragments or red shards instead of letting them go to waste. If you exchange for Supergirl too early and end up not having enough to unlock her, for example, stopping at only 38 shards, that becomes very inefficient because we have no idea when this version of Supergirl will return. Besides Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow, the event also offers several other rewards, including the Kara's ship-based skin, the Woman of Tomorrow frame, and magic eyes. These cosmetics look quite good, and if you enjoy customizing your base, they provide another reason to fully participate in the event. Now I want to talk about the system changes in this patch because they are also quite important. Champion Tower has been updated. Specifically, after clearing level 200 in the training simulator, the new Champion Tower will be unlocked. This tower features multiple faction-based challenges, meaning you can only deploy champions with the required faction tag into each challenge. This is an interesting change because it encourages players to build a more diverse roster instead of focusing entirely on a single team. As for base PvP, this is probably the area that received the most improvements in this patch, and I rate these changes quite highly. First, there are the reinforcement rewards. Commanders who participate in defensive battles for a base that is under attack will now receive mystery supply crates with a daily limit of 10 crates. This is an excellent incentive that encourages players to actively support allies rather than focusing solely on attacking. Second, intel points spent in base PvP now also count towards Supreme Commander event progress. This is a very welcome change for players who are actively pushing that event. Third, a new infiltration log has been added to the Heart of Darkness chamber, allowing you to review both personal and league infiltration history. It is a small feature, but a very useful one for tracking activity and learning from previous attempts. Battle for Gotham and Ultimate Battle for Gotham have also received a notable improvement through the addition of simplified view mode, which helps reduce lag during large-scale battles. This is clearly a direct response to community feedback, and I think the developers deserve credit for paying attention to performance issues. Two smaller but still noteworthy improvements are that collections now include point milestone rewards, and cord chips can now be equipped in Combat Cycle, Training Simulator, and Anti-Crime Network. The addition of cord chips to Training Simulator and Anti-Crime Network is especially convenient because you no longer need to constantly swap chips every time you switch game modes. To wrap everything up, this is a fairly well-balanced patch. The Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow event delivers a substantial amount of quality content and provides an opportunity for both free-to-play and paying players to obtain a new character. The base PvP improvements and Champion Tower changes are definitely steps in the right direction. My final advice is to start the event as soon as it opens. Prioritize unlocking Puppy Luck early, manage your Sunstones carefully, and do not rush to exchange your vouchers until the final days of the event. If you found this video helpful, make sure to leave a like and subscribe so you do not miss future content. I will continue providing more detailed guides once the event officially begins. See you in the next video.